Cardomancy is a path working of tarot cards that has been around for about 200 to 300 years. Around the 16th, 17th century, it was known as cardomancy, whereas today it is known as the art of tarot card readings. It is a form of divination. All right. And there are many ways to practice this particular foresight. Now, recently I watched a video by Frank White by the Order of the Grails founder. He is a very well-known sorcerer, somebody that I have come to respect. He's always been down to earth, and he has always been upfront with the way sorcery is within the very traditions of arts and practices. Now, I know he doesn't really talk much about how to do tarot card readings, but I do know that he does perform tarot card readings for his clients. You know, a lot of big time traditionalists or practitioners, I should say, actually charge for their services. Now, personally, I don't, and it does come down to one's perspective. You know, some people said you do the work, you should get paid for the work. You know, and for me, it's more of the fact it comes down to what you want, what you desire, but also what you feel is right. I am, in my opinion, I don't think you should charge for it, but you know, because you are informed in a lot of aspects, you're doing a service for somebody. You know, I do understand that. I do. And just like any service, you should get paid in it. But not everything is dealt with money or monetary gain. I mean, look at the old traditions. You know, a lot of the time, a lot of these old practitioners, such as shamans and witches and druids, you know, voodoo priests and priestesses, you know, are just plain witches and warlocks, sorcerers and wizards. You know, when they did their services, those who could afford to pay paid. You know, but most of the time, their rewards were, or their payments that were given to them were foods. You know, fish. You know, from fishermen, furs from hunters. You know, a lot of times they were really, how should I say this? They were really respected within their communities. It wasn't until later on that they became feared, but that was out of the Judeo-Christian, you know, hatred for other traditions. You know, it was back when they were trying to conquer the globe. Today, there's a form of respect. You know, they have to be, especially here in the U.S., because there are laws against disrespecting, you know, others' religious point of views. And you do need to know your rights, especially when it comes to religious rights, and how it is in both the job and everyday life dealing with individuals. Because you do have rights within your local borough, state, and federal laws, especially here in the U.S., like I said. Now, but today, I am actually going to be performing a blind tarot card reading. It's going to be an open tarot card reading. And I really want to convey that everybody has their own style and formulations of, I should say, formula of doing cardomancy. Some people are traditionalists and stick with the books that come with a deck of cards, the tarot card decks themselves. Others learn to read into these cards, such as the glyphs and the various different outlooks from positive to light, or to negative, light and dark, the feelings and the gut instincts of what is trying to be said within these readings. So to me, doing an open tarot card reading basically opens the door for the deities, the gods, goddesses, angels, demons, the jinn, or even the spirits to reach forth and just say, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's coming up. This is what you're going through. This is what you've gone through. It doesn't matter, what path you're on. But I had done a video a little bit ago on the journey into Satanism. And while I was talking with a couple people after I was uploading the video, I got this urge to do a blind tarot card reading because I got this feeling that somebody needs it. I don't know who, I don't know where they're from. All I know is that the individual needs a reading. So I went in and grabbed my tarot card deck, the one I use the most, which is the Daniel's deck. It's a vampire deck. This one here is what I normally classify as the emotional deck. It deals with emotions, mentalism, the mental stuff. And I felt like it really needs to be done. So this is something that, when I get these feelings, I just feel about doing them. So let's see what the cards have to say. And if you're watching this video and it speaks to you, cool. I hope it helps out. And if not, well, then it wasn't meant for you. Because I got a feeling that this reading is going to speak to one more than the rest, but most of you, it's most likely going to relate to you. So, and I've got two cats having a cat fight, I guess you could say. They're playing. So if they run in front of us, don't take it personally. They're just running around. So, all right. I feel like that's enough shuffling. So, let's see here. Oh, hello. All right. Well, okay. Just by looking at the cards, they're all in the same position. The light aspect. And it looks like somebody's going through some hard times right now. The Ten of Grails, the daydreaming, the feeling of, I guess you could say it's the woe is me type thing. The Grails deal with life and death, the struggles of life, what limits life, the strain on life that takes place. So the Ten of Grails is one of those type of cards that deal with constructions or trials. things that are really constricting your your way of thinking, or your what's going on in your life at the moment. It's literally you've gotten into that stature of you're hitting your head against the brick wall type thing, where it's more or less, it's not that you're hitting your head against the brick wall. It's the trials of life have, or the events of what's going on in your life is really getting to you at the moment. And that's the card right there. So you can actually see it for yourself. It's the Ten of Grails. This particular feeling that I'm getting from this card is you've run out of ideas, and you're trying to contemplate, you're trying to deal with it, but you're not sure how to deal with it at the same time. It's kind of like, how should I say this? Um, it's like when you've been unemployed for a long time. You're going out, you're filling out the applications, you're starting to get frustrated. You're trying to, you're about to lose your home, you're about to lose your car, your family's about to become, homeless, that type of feeling, that type of struggle. But yet, I don't get that sense that it's like that. I think it's because of the third card in this reading. I get the feeling that it's something else. And this brings me to the second card, the Lord of Skulls. Skulls is more spiritual. It's emotional. It's the Lord is like the master of it. But yet, even though you've mastered a lot of things, this thing here seems to be a part of a trial, a test. And it's one of those things that it's a destructive thing, because a black horse is normally associated with destruction, death even. And it deals with certain things that are coming to an end or is about to come to an end, something that is threatening your way of life. And like I said, with the ten of grails, the feeling that I'm getting is it's a type of struggle. It's a type of infliction upon your life. But yet, I'll show you this card as well while I'm at it. The Lord of Grails, or the Lord of Skulls, rather. The lightning deals with conflict, or the electricity, the magnetism between life and death, the destruction and the creation. It's almost like a state of duality. Good versus evil, light versus dark, life versus death, adult versus child. It's that balance factor. Now, like I said, the black horse is a destructive nature. The black is associated with destruction rituals. It deals with black magic, but it also deals with things like diseases. It deals with legal issues. It deals with bullying, harassment. It deals with a lot of different things that would be classified as negative or negativity, criminal activities, things that is unfair, things that make you angry to the point where you want to just lash out. But then you've got the third card, like I said, which is justice. Now, we all know what justice is. It can come in many different areas, be it you finally get that promotion over somebody that's been bad mouthing you at work. It could be a legal issue where you've gone to court and you're dealing with something, uh, perhaps something where you're either innocent or, and I get the sense that it's something to deal with innocence, but it's something that's afflicting you to the point where it's like hitting your head against the wall. It's that constructive nature of infliction. The Eight of Skulls. The Mystic. You know, here's the Justice card. You know, the dagger in the front. Kind of like Osiris with the scale of innocence, the feather versus the gold, you know, type thing. The Eight of Skulls. To see this in here as well as the Lord of Skulls in the Justice card, this is reading more and more like a legal issue, something that's really raising hell in somebody's life. And that seems to be the sense here. It's the legal issue. Something that's stressing you to the point where you're not getting very far. It's like your voice isn't being heard. That's the Eight of Skulls right there. The Mystic. Skull in one hand, lightning or electricity in the other hand. By the altar, though, the sands of time, the eyes of March, the tower glass. Interesting. But then you got the Prince of Scepters. This reading it speaks to more the feeling that I'm getting from this reading in general is that it's a personal nature. It's dealing with legal issues, but it's something that is either personal, dealing with a home or a sickness, but at the same time, it's deals with a corporate situation within legalism. Kind of like, how should I say this? It's almost like a sensation of that chill going up your spine, like it's something that is it's something that is comprehensible. You know what I'm saying? It's something that's really going into almost like a horrifying incident that took place. Where the legal system has either failed you or is about to fail you. Either you've been accused of something or something that you've been taken to court for like a contract violation, or perhaps it's something to do with something, like a personal attack type thing where you've been falsely accused, and it's dealing with the facts and trying to get your voice heard. And because the system is failing you, you're reaching out to the sorceries and to the mystics, and you're trying to find that aid to help you in the court system or into this legal issue, be it a land dispute. Perhaps somebody's trying to take something from you and nobody's listening. The fact that all these cards deal with the crescent moon, the waning moon, to be precise, which is the pre-full moon. This is the part where it's there's an old saying, it's darkest before the dawn. And the full moon literally lights up the night sky. So that would be a type of illumination, almost like the sun rising in the east. Well, it's definitely planetary. I mean, you're dealing with Mars, Jupiter, most likely Sagittarius, versus the male or the Mars aspects. Yeah, definitely Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is considered to be one of the worst zodiac signs out there, the most confrontational, controlling. And that's definitely, and that's really definitely, it tells me a lot because of the fact that Sagittarius is around the same time as Aquarius. And, right now we're going from Aquarius into Sagittarius before going into Aries. So I mean, you're seeing, three of the most top zodiac signs right there alone. And what's interesting in this reading is that not only are we dealing with something about justice, but we're seeing a destructive mannerism here. We're seeing where things are in the negative, the darkest aspects of itself. But at the same time, we're seeing how you're seeking to set it right. And the one thing that I could always tell you is that when all aspects or avenues have failed you, black magic will succeed, because to seek out a black magician, which is in this case is what I think is needed and what I feel is needed for you, just by the Eight of Skulls alone, and the fact that the Prince of Scepters follows the Eight of Skulls, as being the last card, whereas the Eight of Skulls is the second to last card in this reading. And then you got Justice, which is the third, going all the way back to the Ten of Grails. Seems like you're already in a bad place where you're not seeing a way out. And right now you're literally seeking that exit sign, but you're not sure how to go about it. But at the same time, you want a way out from underneath whatever the situation is that you've gotten into. Now, keep in mind, I don't know what this is. It could be something legal. It could be something to deal with a criminal court case. It could be something about bullying or harassment. You know, maybe you've been falsely accused of something. But everything here is telling me that your life right now, of where you've been, where you are right now, from past, present, and future cards, to your situation, to see if we can expand on this. All right, I just drew 4 more cards in this reading, just to see what would come up. The Moon, which is a major arcana, has popped up. And she's carrying a sheath, much in the same way as the Grim Reaper would carry a sheath. I'm going to show you this card so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Okay. Here we're also seeing the same symbol that is on Justice, but also that of the Ten of Grails on the chalice, just in a different design. It's actually a different position, planetary wise. But you're also seeing the blood. The Fool came up in light aspect. Now the Fool is basically telling me that you kind of feel the Fool, like you've been played as a fool, but at the same time it's like you're expecting what is coming, and the way you see it is, not only are you the fool, but you feel like you're playing the fool. The Eight of Knives is a physical card. It deals with physical wounds or physical inflictions. Again, the light aspect of it. And I'll show you this card too. And this one here, it's more of the fact that you feel like you're being condemned. Almost like you're being put to death or in prison, like you're being shackled. Like the universe is lining up against you. Trust me, I've been there. I know it's no fun. And you're not really the only one who's going through this either. But then you got the Nine of Scepters, Second Scepters, Prince of Scepters versus the Nine, the carefree mystic or spiritualism. Goes good with the mystics, the magical aspects, the applications of it. But yet the cross section is on the right hand side of the card. But yet the other one that's on the tombstone is going straight up. Interesting. I get the sense that this needs a more in-depth reading, a much more in-depth reading, perhaps multiple different questions about what it is and how to get around it, how to bypass it even. Because it's staying right in the same line as of the afflictions, the constrictions, the negative or destructive tendencies, or what's going on in your life. Reaching out to mystics and magicians, the magics, because the legal system is denying you the feeling. It's like it's abandoning you. It's condemning you for some reason. So I'm gonna pick these up real fast. I'm gonna shuffle again because I think there's a much more in-depth question here. And I think it's not about an in-depth question. I think it's about the situation that you're going through. And the question is what is that situation exactly? Because each situation dealing with destruction and legal systems plays different roles. There's different outcomes because the future is never set. The past is what made you who you are today, but today's choices, that's what sets tomorrow. So, I mean, the future really doesn't matter. It's what you do today. So, what I'm doing here, I'm going to get rid of that real fast. I should have disabled the notifications. Is I think I get the feel from that reading that it's more about the fact that whoever's judging you, be it a court system, a foundation, perhaps even a career choice, it is something that has aligned against you that is basically not correct. It is something that is really letting you down, is trying to make you the scapegoat. So let's see what we can do here about this and try to figure it out for you. Best way to do this is to let the energies of these thoughts go forth, but at the same time, clear your mind from all personal biasness and kind of take that step back. Kind of just, relax yourself. Shake your arms, stretch your neck, loosen up your muscles all the way up. You know what's ironic is this individual that I get the sense needs this is probably on Facebook and not YouTube. Or he's on YouTube and not on Facebook. I don't know. But I'll share this video there too, just to be on the safe side. But like I said, concentrate on your breathing. Kind of just move, let the energies flow within you, outside yourself. Let the gods that you call upon, that you work with, speak to you through the cards. Because they know what this reading is, they know what it's about, and they can clarify it in ways that you and I can never do. And this is what I spoke on in my last video, was devotion. You know, it's a devotion to one's path, to the dedication of the path, and to the rituals, and to the deities that you serve, you know, the gods, the angels, the demons, the jinn or genies, you know, or even the spirits that you work with, you know, who are former witches, perhaps relatives, because a lot of time practitioners are utilized by spirits alone. So all right, the Hangman has come up, the Empress has come up, the Ace of Scepters, the Daughter of Grails, Fortune, and the Lord of Knives yet again. Okay. Now, the Lord of Knives is not like the Lord of Skulls. Whereas the Lord of Skulls is more spiritual, the Lord of Knives is more physical. Okay, so it's showing a lot more. You're dealing with pestilence. You're dealing with a plague or a cancer that is dealing with this issue. Okay, the fact that this card came in last place compared to the Hanged Man, which is in the first place. Okay, I'm going to show you the Hanged Man card. Okay, that's what that looks like. Okay. So definitely you are being railroaded. I do get that sense from this card, and it's telling me that you're being screwed over in this case. But yet either your lawyer, or your a relative, a female friend, a coworker, perhaps somebody in authority that is very public within your life, someone who you truly trust and depend on, is trying to give you wisdom and understanding and try to guide you through things. And I get the sense that in this situation, you really need to be paying attention to what she's saying. And this is actually clarified even further within the Ace of Scepters, which is detailing the supernatural effect, or the magical effect, of what can transpire through this trust and this insight by taking into consideration of the issue at hand and what's going on. Now, this is the Ace of Scepters right here. Okay. And I didn't show you this card here, the second card, which is the Empress. Okay. Now, the Empress is basically showing me a lot of different things, but mostly it's empowerment, it's influence, somebody that's in your life that is trying to guide you to the correct path in this situation. And then you have the daughter of Grails. Okay, the daughter of Grails. This card here is almost prideful. It's almost seductress or temptress. It's the tempter card. That can seal your fate, or it can release it. It can kill you, or it can create life, depending if you fall for the trick. Much like Loki in Norse mythology, or that of Mephistopheles in Greek mythology. The trickster, the devil card. The one who offers you things, just much like a jinn or genie in Arabic, Akkadian, or Persian belief systems, even African traditions, especially that of Egyptian and Cairo beliefs, especially depending on the spelling of the jinn, genie, or the jinn, and the history that goes along with it. The fortune is telling me many things as well. And what's interesting about the fortune card is that you have a way around this. It's showing me that not only do you have a way around it, but that the wheel is always spinning. It's much like the world. It's similar to the world card. Fortune favors the bold is the old expression. And what's good about the fortune card is the fact that there's multiple points on this that it can go to, which means there's also multiple directions it can go in. Whereas you're sitting here right now wondering, okay, with all this, what was just said, it seems more doom and gloom aspect, like the last reading. Well, whereas in this one, I'm showing you something a little bit different. It's going direct to the point. It's dealing with those around you. Be it your judge, that one trying to trick you into doing something wrong that will fuck up your life and, get you thrown out of your job, or perhaps get you put in prison, or whatever it is that's going on in your life right now. But it's also showing you that it's got somebody that is a heavily, somebody whose wisdom you depend on, somebody that is trying to show you a path, but to try to keep you on that path and keep you focused. The Empress, okay, could be a mother figure, a girlfriend, a wife, even, somebody who's a nurturer, who's trying to help you and aid you. She's most likely in some form of like a doctor position, or a nurse, a CNA, or perhaps even a therapist, or some kind of counselor, somebody who's a nurturer. That's basically the Empress. She's dealing with business, but she's also dealing with the nurturing aspects, trying to kind of sleight of hand trick of guiding you to where you need to be. And I think in this reading you really need to pay attention to that. But then you got the Lord of Knives, okay, which I said earlier is similar to the Lord of Skulls, but in the different aspect of it. Now, this is the Pale Rider. And I'm going to show you this card because I want you to take this into consideration. Okay? Take into consideration the aspects of it. The enlightened background, the white background. Okay? The pale horse. Now, I want to direct something to you here. And it comes from the book of Ezekiel. Okay, in the Bible, compared to the book of Revelations. Okay. Now, in chapter 4, it describes a being or a machine type thing stretching from the heavens down to the earth. It's got 4 faces. It's got multiple different eyes and wings. You know, in the book of in Ezekiel, it taught in chapter 1, it describes in a vision the influencer, the one that has come down to set things right. Okay. Whereas in the book of Revelations, chapter 4, it's kind of like a deceiver. Okay. Remember what I said about the daughter of Grails? Okay. The seductress, the tempter, someone who's trying to get you off that beaten path. Okay. You got to keep an eye on. Well, the Lord of Knives, on the other hand, is more physical. It's more direct. It's to the point, and it's showing me not only the lightning, but the hair, the ghostly figure type aspect of the domain of the land of the dead, so to speak. It has nothing really to do with the dead itself. It's more of the ghostly aspects of it, which tells me it's something to do from your past. Okay, something that's going to set you free, so to speak, from the chains that bind. You know, think of it as being bedridden with this, with a stricken disease, something that's keeping you bedridden, and then all of a sudden you find that miracle cure, and it just sets you free, and you're able to run, you're able to read, you start living again, you start dating, and yada yada yada. Saying that's basically what the Lord of Knives is saying. It's that ghostly figure. It's that I'm free type thing. Okay, so basically, the second reading is into this situation is telling me point blank that not only is right now you're feeling kind of confined, chained, constricted, you're being judged in some way. You're seeking the justice aspect, or somebody's seeking justice against you in some way. Um, but also, you've got somebody in your corner that you can trust. You have to discern between the two people that is in your life, because one's trying to lead you down a dead end road, whereas the other's trying to guide you to the right direction. And like I said, that could be a lawyer, it could be um, a girlfriend, a wife, a doctor, somebody that has a heavily amount of influence in your life, somebody that you trust and respect, that's going to help you lead you in the right direction. Somebody, perhaps a third party that is not involved, that is able to see all aspects. Okay. Hell, for all I know, this could be me giving you this reading and this insight. But you see my point there. The wheel showing you that you've got a lot of different directions that you can go in. But then you got the Lord of Knives telling you basically that you're free. Your trial has come to an end. And that's something that's awesome. So I hope this information has helped you and whatever you're going through. And if you have questions, feel free to message me. I'll do a reading for you for anytime. We can also set up a consultation where you get a full in-depth reading. One of the things that I will tell you is the more cards that you utilize, the more information you get. Okay. Unless you're very arcane and sensitive to the single cards, and then you can read a whole bunch of in-depth aspects into a single card. So personally, I like cardomancy myself because the cards never lie. People can lie to you, you can lie to yourself, but the cards, they never lie. And when you deal with the demons, the jinn, the spirits, the gods, the demigods, angels, demons, these beings are there to help you. But there's also a few that you want to take into consideration that is really not there to help you. They can be harmful, just like people in your life. So it's best to take that step back and just find that clarity in your life and what you're going through. Look at where you've been, where you are now, see how you reach that point, and then just kind of just contemplate on all aspects and try to find that individual that is going to help you out of this situation. And you'll be surprised at what happens. All right? Enjoy. Hope this has helped. This Dark Magician is out.